Here we go. Hello, my name is Frances Smith Dean, Executive Director of the ZWHJCOC Homes Junior Community Outreach Center, located here in Dallas, Texas. Our mission is creating self-sustaining pathways out of poverty for young people and families living in Dallas. Today, in our Funder Highlight segment, we have with us Andrea Glispie of the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas. Andrea, could you introduce yourself as well as tell us what the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas does?
Absolutely. Hi, Frances. It's so good to be with you and everyone watching today. Again, my name is Andrea Glispie. I'm Director of Career Pathways and Pathways to Work at United Way of Metropolitan Dallas. United Way of Metropolitan Dallas is a social change organization which really wants to rally the community together to ensure that everyone has the basic building blocks of opportunity: income, health, and education. We raise resources and build partnerships to ensure that people can get into the workforce and keep more of what they earn, to ensure that people have a good physical condition and safe neighborhoods, and also to ensure that people can, that especially our children, can go through pre-K all the way through college. And that's how we work, because we believe that together, you know, we can be the unifying force of change for the better.
That is great, Andrea. And today's talk, we want to get tips to our audience about remote work. You know, remote work is the new normal for a lot of people. We were very fortunate to place some people with SBA. And so currently they're working remotely. So could you give us some tips today on remote work?
Sure. Remote work is very challenging, and most of us didn't have to do it up until March of this year, when all of our lives radically changed when the pandemic bore down on us. Remote work in some ways is convenient, but in other ways it can offer a host of other challenges that we have to deal with. I personally am also working remotely right now. I have a school-age son that's with me at least half the time when he's not with his father. And I'm in charge of homeschooling him when he's with me. So he has homeschooling for 4 or 5 hours a day, plus I have to work a full-time job, so it's not easy. And I'm sure a lot of you are in the same situation. So I think one of the first things that I've had to do in homeschooling and juggling work responsibilities is clear communication. When you are working remotely, you don't have the luxury of having your boss or the coworkers see what you're doing day in and day out. You have to tell them what you're doing. So it's important to communicate when you'll be in, how long you'll be working that day, and when you'll be leaving. And if there's any times that you'll have to be off the clock to help family members or a school-age child with their schoolwork, that's really important. So remember to communicate. Sometimes you hear the phrase over-communicate, and I definitely agree with that. I think over-communication is definitely key. Again, because people don't have the luxury of seeing you. Another things you may need to communicate in the job is what your day looks like, what priorities you have, or what goals you have to accomplish, and how you plan to carry those out. You may need to communicate deadlines or also ask questions about expectations of you. That's very important, is to ask questions and be sure that you are hearing the answers and can incorporate them into your daily work. Working from home is all about being flexible. Sometimes we're not able to work a 9-to-5 schedule. Sometimes we have to work early in the morning, take a break to help with schooling or other family responsibilities, and then work in the evening to catch up. And that's what I've had to do. And it's not been easy, but it's worth it. So being flexible is also very important. I would say the final thing about working from home is being proactive. Again, because your boss or your supervisor or your colleagues can't see you, it's important to take the initiative and be proactive about taking on new tasks, carrying out the tasks that have been assigned to you to the best of your ability, being able to see things before other people do about what needs to be done or what new projects could be taken on. So anywhere where you can have the foresight to be proactive and to take things on as needed and be able to communicate that to your boss and your coworkers is really important. So over-communicate, be flexible, and be proactive.
Wow, great tips for our audience today. Here's what our takeaways. And if you have any questions, please don't feel free to reach out to the Zan Wesley Holmes Junior Community Outreach Center, because remote work is that new normal. We want you to be successful, as well as the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas and Andrea and her team. So today we thank you, Andrea, for those powerful messages and tips you gave our audience on communication, flexibility, and being proactive, because all of these things are needed for our successful workplace, the new normal. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.